crafty people, this is Ellen with EGI Designs. Today we are talking trimmers. This is a great video if you're just starting out with card making, so we can talk about all the different kinds of trimmers there are, and it's also a great video if you're an experienced card maker and you are looking to see what is out there. I have a lot of different varieties of trimmers to show you and the pros and cons of all of them, so stay tuned. No, you are not seeing things. This is my entire collection of trimmers that I have amassed over all of my years of crafting, and I'm going to go through each type and give you the pros and cons, and hopefully that can help make any decisions that you are making when you are looking for a new trimmer. Alright, the first type of trimmer that we're going to talk about is a guillotine trimmer, and you can get these in varying sizes. This is my little mini one. This is from Holtz, and then I have this regular kind of medium size, but they do actually come in huge ones that you can do 12 by 12 paper and things like that. Holtz also has this guillotine trimmer that is a deckled edge. I don't know if you can see that, but it's rough. So let me just take a sheet of paper and I'll cut it for you so you can see. So this gives you that you kind of book page, torn edge, kind of vintage distressed look. So this is kind of a fun trimmer, a decorative trimmer. The one thing you want to remember is that when you're using a guillotine trimmer, you want to put your paper against the bottom of the platform. So when you're looking for a guillotine trimmer, you want to get one that has a lip on the bottom and on the top to line up the paper. Because what happens is if you put this against the top and you start putting the arm down, the pressure of that will turn the cardstock and you'll end up getting a diagonal line, and your cuts won't be correct. Whereas if you have it against the bottom, then this has nowhere to turn. So it's kind of a thin paper, so it isn't cutting very well. So my pro tip is always make sure you line it up against the bottom and make sure you purchase a trimmer that has a lip on the bottom. So for these two, so I really liked this one, this little baby one. I thought it would be good for just cutting sentiments, you know, little things that I needed to cut. And I didn't realize at the time that this does not have a lip on the bottom. Because this is so small, you might be able to get away with putting against the top, and these are really, the finger holds are really tight to hold. So this might not turn very much, but one of the reasons why I don't use this one more is because it does not have the lip on the bottom. But this is cute. This is a photo trimmer. It's 3.5 by 6.25. So you would need to make sure that you are cutting something that was small. I generally, if I'm going to be cutting something, I grab this one all the time. That's just my go-to. So this one I love. It's very, very well made. It's very, very sturdy. I used to have one that I think it was from like We Are Memory Keepers, and the blade didn't feel very strong, and it kind of felt not cheaply made, but it didn't have as much heft as these Holtz ones do. Like, this is a serious arm here. So this is what I was saying. There's a nice lip on the bottom, and you just line it up on the bottom, and you know, hold this right here, and you just go down, and it gives awesome cuts. I never have any problem with it, so this is definitely my go-to guillotine trimmer. Alright, next up we are going to go with blade trimmer. Alright, here are my blade trimmers that I have collected over the years. I have a Spellbinders trimmer and scorer. This is my old one. This is a Stampin' Up. And then I have this Holtz, it's very big, blade trimmer. And the thing that makes this a little bit different is that instead of, you know, a kind of scissor cutting action, this actually has underneath a actual blade here, which is very sharp, so it's kind of like a knife cutting, so you need to be careful you don't stab yourself. And the blades do run out, or not run out, they get dull, and then your paper on the edges gets kind of frayed and hairy looking. So that's a good indication of that you will need to change your blade. A lot of companies make this exact same style. I mean, look at this. This is pretty much exactly. Let me set this one aside. So if you're looking for this kind of a trimmer and you don't have a Stampin' Up person, the Spellbinders is exactly the same. The thing that my go-to with this is because it has an arm that comes out. It's 17 1/4, I believe. And then it's 12 1/2 this way. So you can cut, you know, whatever scrapbooking paper you have on that, or if you just have a very large, you know, a larger piece of paper and you need to cut, that is great. The thing that I really love about the Spellbinder one is that it has a score blade, and it has the cutting blade, and you can keep them on here at the same time and keep them out of each other's way, which is fabulous, because I really like using this for scoring. So let me just show you an example. We'll use one of these little cut pieces. So let's say I want to score this at 2 inches. So you line it up 2 inches, run them back and forth, take it out, and now you have your score line. Right? So I love this because it's like an all-in-one, and you can cut really big pieces of paper with it. This one from Holtz is very heavy duty. It costs a little bit more. It's great, very quality product. This is a little bit different because this guide stays up. It's on little springs. So if you're cutting many things in a row, it's a lot easier with this one because it has the spring and you can move your paper underneath. Whereas this one, every time you move the paper, you have to unclick this and move to the next, and then click it down, and you know, lather, rinse, repeat on that. So, and I also like on both of these is that you have markings on this side. This one is out to 2, this one is to 1.5. So if you want to measure something easily, if you have a long piece of paper on this side, and you're like, oh, I need to cut 1 inch off, you just go like that, and then you have it on this side. So that is great. This particular Tim Holtz one, it does actually come with a score blade. It is the same size as this, which is pretty big, probably a couple inches. The only con, I would say, to this one is that you can't keep them easily on the track together at the same time and out of each other's way. If you're not going to cut all the way to 12 all the time, you could keep, you know, one up here and one down here. They end up kind of getting in the way of each other. So the thing that would make this perfect is if you could keep both on at the same time easily. But it's a little bit difficult. So I find myself, you know, cutting with this or cutting with this, and I do my scoring with this. This one has a fold out on the top and the bottom, and it's marked in the middle, so you can cut. This goes up to 12 inches, so you can cut scrapbook paper with this as well. So my favorite is this one, but again, this is a great one. I just wish that I could keep the scoring on there easily. Alright, so our next topic will be rotary trimmers. Okay, here are the two rotary type trimmers that I have. I have the Tim Holtz, and I think it's called no, that's the other one. This is the rotary trimmer. The other Tim Holtz one with the blade is called the precision trimmer. I apologize for not remembering that at the time. And this one is a Fisker's Procision rotary trimmer. If you get a rotary trimmer, it is a workhorse. You can cut pretty much whatever you need to cut with it. This one is a little bit pricier, but it has a lifetime warranty on it. I will say one time I was cutting something and I got a little burr, like a little nick in the blade. And I wrote to Fisker's about it and just said, oh, can you send me a new blade? And I'll just, you know, take it apart and replace it. They sent me a completely whole new trimmer. So that was pretty awesome. Yeah, rotary blade trimmers are meant to go through chipboard, leather, anything, you know, cardboard, anything that's a little bit thicker, or if you want to cut many pages at once. So you could cut, you know, 3, you know, 110-pound sheets of cardstock, or, you know, 6 thinner ones from that. So these are great. I will go over both of them with you. I can't fit them both on here since they're so big. Again, with the Tim Holtz ones, these have the 2 arms. These go out to 12 inches, and it's marked in the middle as well. You can see this slide. I'm trying to see if you can see the, it's really hard to see the blade in there. But there's a blade, and it's a self-sharpening blade, and this moves very easily. This particular one, there's a little bit of a learning curve. This is meant to be wiggly. So if you get this one, I don't want you to think that's incorrect. That's just to allow for a little bit of flexibility. But when you cut, you put your hand on here and you turn it inward. So it's touching the blade here. So that you want them to match together. So if you just let it go straight up and down, you might get a little bit of a wiggly line. So you turn it in, and it's very easy. So we'll just put this piece of paper in here. We'll do it 5 inches. So I have my hand on, I'm turning, right? So you get a nice, smooth, easy. We have 2. So here is 4 sheets. I believe this is 65 pound. So if you are mass producing things, stack it up and cut it on here. Easy, easy, easy. Yeah. So this is a great trimmer. You just, hold it. This is on a spring. You hold it down. Just shoot. And it slices right through. I would recommend putting your paper at whatever end you're coming toward. So if you're coming down, put the paper on the bottom. Again, with the ledge. And if you're going up, put the paper up there. So I have, this is some thinner cardboard. I put it in here. I just wanted to show you. So you hold it down. We're turning this towards the inside. Right? Super easy. Okay. I wonder if we could stuck it up. Might be too much. The guide doesn't want to go up this high, but oh, we got it. So 2, this is how thick that will cut through. So, and that's the big difference between a rotary trimmer and, like a regular trimmer like this. Like, I'll put this in here. I don't even know if it'll, yeah, so it made it through the top layer of that cardboard. So that's where a rotary trimmer is a great option, because you can cut all different kinds of fabrics and materials. So here's my workhorse. This goes up to 5.5 inches here, but then you can open it and it goes all the way out to 13.25. Okay, so this being on 2 tracks, it keeps the blade steady, so you get a nice straight cut. It has a little locking thing here. You just do that so you can lift this up. And so, try to put this in the camera here. Maybe I'll do it at the top. Same thing, whichever way you're going is what I would put your paper on. The top if you're going up, or the bottom if you're going down. So here is that cardboard again. Right, great cut. Easy peasies. This one, let's see. Kind of at a weird angle, but it does cut through, no problem. And I also have, this is like a, what do they call it, like 30-point chipboard. Right through. I've cut magnet with this, no problem. I wonder if this could go through both. Yeah. Like I'm at a weird angle on this table. Ugh. Okay, so we have 2 layers of chipboard. This one is also awesome because on the right side it goes out to 2.5. This one is awesome also because on the right side it goes out to 2.5, so you can measure over on this side as well. Let me bring back the other one so we can see. So this is 2 layers of chipboard. No problem. Perfect. So there is that for the rotary. Alright, so today we went through the guillotine trimmers, we went through the blade trimmers, and we went through the rotary trimmers. And after all of that, and all of my past trimmers that I've had, these 3 are what I would choose for my everyday. This one, I love it. It's super easy. You know, if you're making a card base, you can cut, you know, so here we have our half sheet of paper, then we can score, make a card base. Just always crisp lines, never have a problem with it, and it's relatively small, so it can fit right on my shelf there. And then this one for the blade trimmer, and again, that's mostly because I can keep the scoring and the blade on the same track. And I do love that this goes out to 17.25. So if I have some giant piece of paper, I can just cut that, no problem. You know, that's great. It can't cut very thick, like the cardboard. I don't think it'll. Let's see. Oh, it did cut the chipboard though, so that is awesome. And then for those big jobs, I recommend this Tim Holtz rotary trimmer because it'll cut through all kinds of materials. It's not too huge to store. It's only 6 inches on this side, so you could, store it like this. It isn't too big, as compared to like if you had one of those giant like guillotine trimmers, or even my other rotary trimmer is pretty bulky. But the rotary trimmers are awesome for doing thicker materials, or if you want to do mass producing and you need to do multiples at once, you can cut a ton of paper all together at the same time. So that is my recommendation after going through all of my trimmers. These 3 are my go-tos, but it is personal choice. You have to find out what works for you, what works for the way that you do your crafting. If you like to use scoring on a scoreboard, you might not need something that can also have a score tool on there. Like this one would be totally fine because you can go all the way out to 12. So it depends on how you work and how you like to craft and what you use your products for. So I will list everything that I showed today in the description box, just in case you're interested in looking up the prices, or what would be good for you. I do have affiliate links. Come join me over on Facebook, Pinterest, and I have a blog now. And if you're not already a subscriber, I would love it if you could hit that button and become one of my subscribers and join our crafty community. We would love to have you. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Until next time, like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
Here are a couple more videos I thought you might like. Thanks so much for watching.